What if there was a Tinkaton for every type? Tinkaton is an incredibly popular Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet, and it's easy to see why. It's got one of the most unique designs we've ever seen, featuring a giant metal hammer made out of the bodies of Corviknight that it pelted out of the sky. I mean, that's literally the only reason that it's part steel type, because it used the steel bodies of Corviknight for the hammer. That's just crazy. But what if instead of using Corviknight, Tinkaton used a different Pokemon to forge its hammer and therefore had different typing? Well, today we'll be answering that question thanks to my friend Devessa Illustrations, who made a bunch of different designs for Tinkaton representing all the types in Pokemon. We're about to go over all of them. It's going to be super fun, and if you end up liking today's video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos like it. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so up first we have Minka Tink, which is normal rock type. I think those two types most people would consider the most boring in Pokemon, so it makes sense that they're together. In this version, we see that Tinkatink is a bunny, and in its hand, it's actually holding what is the corpse of a Bonsly, which is kind of messed up when you think about it. With the middle stage Minkatuff, we now see that its hammer is much larger and now made of a Sudowoodo, but if you also see this green part here, that is actually a Gulpin. So this Pokemon actually destroyed a Sudowoodo to make its hammer and then held together all the pieces with the sticky body of a Gulpin. And with Minkaton, we now see that it has these long bunny ears and this ginormous hammer that has that very iconic Sudowoodo, like that's the thing that's on top of its head. His horns, I guess you'd call them, that thing right there. Next up, we have the bug fire type Ignitink. It's like this little bug creature and it's holding a hand cannon. With the middle stage Ignituff, we now see that its hammer has a very iconic color palette. You might start to recognize what this is actually from. And with the final stage, yeah, this hammer is actually made out of a Turtonator, which is really cool. And I'd like to imagine, because we can see this hole right here on the hammer and there's probably one on the other side here, I'd like to imagine that this hammer is actually rocket powered. So like this is the spiky part, and then this part back here would spew out flames to launch it forward to hit the opponent even harder. Up next, we have the dark electric type Nidotinck. That's actually very rare typing in real Pokemon, but this one actually made its hammer out of a Mareep. With the middle stage, we're starting to see that iconic Ampharos hair start to form on top of its head, which reminds me a lot of Mega Ampharos, probably the funniest Mega evolution of all time. And with the final stage, we see all these electric orbs throughout its body and on the hammer. So I'd like to imagine when this hammer hits you, it also shocks you, and that's why these are placed right here on the business end of the hammer. Here we have the Dragon Ice type Glutatink in reference to gluten, because this Pokemon's hammer is made out of ice cream, or I guess the ice cream Pokemon Vanillite. The middle stage Glutatuff now has a hammer made out of, what's its middle stage? Vanillish, I think? That's kind of a hard one. And the final stage Glutaton now has a giant hammer made out of Vanillux, and it also has the cherry on top, literally, of a cherubi in the hammer, which is a really cool detail. Okay, this one's interesting. Flutetink, it's flying water type, and this Pokemon's hammer is made out of a Shelder, or more specifically, the Shelder that we see on Slowbro. The middle stage is really interesting because its body is flying and its feet is holding the hammer, which is really interesting. And another thing, we see these music notes here, and its name is Flutuff, so I guess this is also a flute as well as a Shelder. The idea is like as it's flying through the air, wind is entering the different holes of the hammer and it's producing songs. With the final stage, we now see the full creature that appears on Slowbro's tail as part of this giant hammer. And this one's weird because this isn't even like a destroyed Pokemon. This one looks alive and well, unlike all the other hammers we've seen. Here is probably my favorite of the entire episode. It's Ghost Psychic type Thinkatink, and this Pokemon is holding Unknown. More specifically, I guess this is the I Unknown. And it also looks like it has the X Unknown on its chest that it's sort of wearing like chainmail. The middle stage again has such a cool design. It's this ghost with an unknown hammer. I believe this is the D Unknown, so insert joke here. And the final stage, I mean, come on, this is so cool. It's got this giant unknown hammer with all these different letters. Let's see if we can pick out all of them. I think this one on the I is a Y. The one that's the majority part of its hammer, I believe, is the O, but it's like broken off at points. Like I think the O has more of a circle, but I think that's why these parts look broken. I'm not sure what this one is here. Maybe the V or the A, depending how you look at it. And I have no idea what this one's supposed to be, but it looks really cool either way. Here we have the ground ground grass type Thornatink, and I believe this one's hammer is made out of a Cacnea. The middle stage, we now see this iconic little golden crown that Cacnea wears, so I'm pretty positive this one is based off Cacnea. However, I think the final stage, Thornaton, actually has a hammer made out of Maractus because it has these pink lilies that don't appear on Cacnea. So maybe it's Cacnea and Maractus, both of the cactus Pokemon, I'm pretty sure. Here we have Minka Tink, it's fighting poison type, and this is like a little monkey with this thorn in its chest. The middle stage is Monkey Tough, and it doesn't really have a hammer, it looks more like a barbell with this side being purple and this side being blue, and that's because this one is based off of Nidoran and Nidorino. The final stage, Monkeyton, now has this giant, super heavy looking barbell hammer thing that's made out of Nidoking and Nidoqueen. How he managed to take out both of them, I don't know. And that's gonna do it for these multi-typed Tinkatons. Try saying that 3 times fast, but this was super cool. It's always fun checking out these fan-made concepts. I hope you enjoyed as well. Comment down below which form was your favorite, and if you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video, but until then, peace.